Hey everybody, Charlie and Iron 2 here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, we proved the existence of a third bullet. We finished the summation examination with a heavily not guilty leaning for the jury, and now it sounds like juror number 5 is about to tell us the true identity of Mr. Egbert Benedict. Let's find out what she has to say. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious. Order, order, order. Juror number 5, how on earth? I am a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is... Stop. Look at her eyes. Such determination. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. Suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. No, his job deals with government communications. That's where the rub is, right? If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Recess time? Lord Van Zykes, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about the events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well, court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Lunchtime, let's go. Save your progress? Why, yes, I think I will. Overwrite. Save complete. Hit back. 17th April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny, are you all right? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, huh? Why go through all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me? What? Well, you saw it. That picture. What picture? Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's going to think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Bruno has cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you. I don't see why she wouldn't just tell us what happened. All right, then. It was after we had the dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yeah, I remember. Now we're going to replay the chat now. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2-1. To Windybank's place. I had to know if Iris's story was there or not. the Hound of the Baskervilles. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, there's something in that Sholmes don't like, something what he don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking it in lug with Windibanks for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windibanks? I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was going to kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? Ah! I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I'd grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like, I don't know what. Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery. The mantle script. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story? I beg your pardon? The Hound of the something or other. It's here. I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it's here, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it, and I'll go. Oh, very well, then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there, all right, the manuscript. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop. The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in. Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me, sorry. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well I'll come with you and... Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. Oh, he's being like fatherly to her. And with that he took the gun out of my hands and walked back into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? So I was just about to go out to the storeroom myself when... Bang, bang. 2 shots. I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, laying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it as quick as you like. Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windibank might come for you. Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Windibank was a goner. So she didn't see Egbert. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. It'll be all right, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Egbert Benedict? I still remember how he looked at me like I was nothing. He was there that night? We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You can leave it all in Runo's capable hands now, Ginny. Mr. Naruto. Yep? How come you trust me? I don't get it. Just say 'cause we're friends. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer. No, I could never forget that. Oh, I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you I'd be on your side to the bitter end no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it. Oh, Runo. But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend, Kazuma. Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All that you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar? You're not like McGilded. I know that. Eh? That's right. You're our friend, Ginny. Iris. We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. Yes. That's really all we need to know. Exactly. Mr. Naruto, I... Sniffle, sniffle. Oh, give her a hug. Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Time for court. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. All right, Mr. Egbert Benedict, who are you? I'd been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last, the final chapter, the final battle. All right, this is boss battle time. Let's do it. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. Oh, they're gonna make me cry. Didn't think an overly dramatic cartoony anime court game would bring about emotion in me, but it has. 17th of April, 1:41 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Let's go. Let's do this. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zykes, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's precis of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of this third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. Thank goodness. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake. Whoa, who are you? My lord. The subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Egbert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and certainly not like this. Still wearing the same outfit, I see. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon? Ashley? Man, I was thinking a bunch of different names. I was not thinking Ashley. Ashley Graydon, communications officer. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about? You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation, indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Uh-oh. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. All right. Final boss, the accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene, some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. That's that word Scaramouche. That's what's said during Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Scaramouche, Scaramouche. This is the only other time in life I've seen that word outside of that song. All right, continuing on. That was the testimony, right? So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly, how long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good, then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Egbert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. You are? Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer, we have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So. Ah, gave me his hat. I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do. Cross-examination. The accusation. Oh, we got our little pens back. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Look, look at the little dude looking. One of the Skulky brothers over there, just kind of peeking at him like a little bulldog. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Press. Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Mr. Egbert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what have made... The witness is here to test about the events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort to not give anything away. This could be tricky. Okay, we're just going to press everything and then see what we can do. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? Yeah, I am. Press it. Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduced himself as Egbert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me? The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Press. Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. You're able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point. What do you mean? The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness. What even is that you just did? A silent victory wiggle. Oh, that's what that is. A silent victory wiggle. Thanks. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate. Spare me the science lesson. Who is this Sholmes' character anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say, great detective. A great detective, you say? Tisk. Now we're in the realm of fairy tales, are we? Hold on now. One of the Skulkin brothers is upset.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin? What? Me? No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you. Right, I've added up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you? Yes, I know, you're not Big Bruv Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. At core, blimey, Governor. You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him. You what? Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Graydon just spoke? Nothing, honest, Gov, nothing. I was just thinking, if he waves his arm around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again. That's all. The wound. That's right, he must have gotten shot. What wound? Where he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. I ain't gotta be... It ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him, and... Oh, hell's bells. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you would allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand as if in pain? No, I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all of this. I've never had anything to do with this pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. That might be the chink in the armor. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery? My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Yeah, we literally have a picture that shows that he has that. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. The bottom line is I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. All right, we're going to press this, and then we're going to present something on this.
Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident? Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study.
Objection!
No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, Gregson, hit us up.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Inspector? Come again, Sunshine? You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon. Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall. And at that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well now... I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly. What? But you must. I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. What's going on here? Regsy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Windybanks? Yes, of course. Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode, and maybe we can wrap this case up. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.